Living in the Dark, guided close read. Even with early submarine technology, scientists were able to travel only a limited distance into the ocean's depths. In the 1970s, however, new technologies set deep-sea exploration on a remarkable trajectory. Scientists often have to reevaluate their theories and beliefs based on new evidence. This article provides a good example of that process. Authors often use text features such as headings to organize information. The heading that precedes a section of an article can give readers an idea what the section is about. Turning headings into questions will help you figure out what information will follow. What do you think the first section of the article will be about based on the heading on page 201? Pause while you think. The heading suggests that the section will tell what happens when a whale falls or dies and drops to the bottom of the ocean. Paraphrasing or restating information in your own words is an effective strategy to help you understand complex ideas in a text. Reread lines 24 through 32. Paraphrase the description of the whale fall. Pause while you think. A variety of deep-sea creatures come to feed upon the fallen whale body. Some eat the outside flesh, while others eat the carcass from within. The whale fall becomes a habitat for these diverse creatures. Writers of science articles often use a cause and effect structure to show relationships between events and concepts. This helps readers understand how the first event, the cause, leads to one or more effects. Signal words such as because, since, and therefore help readers identify cause and effect relationships. Reread lines 62 through 68. Explain the cause and effect relationship. Which words signal that relationship? Pause while you think. Cause. Polysynthesis isn't possible at very great ocean depths. Effects. Scientists believed that marine snow, flecks of dead plankton, was the main source of food there. They also assumed that only meager life forms could survive. The signal words are because and so. Remember that a cause and effect pattern of organization shows the relationship between events or ideas. Reread lines 79 through 86. Identify the causes of scientists' ideas about life on Earth being suddenly turned upside down. Pause while you think. Scientists had found an ecosystem that didn't rely on the sun for energy. Creatures were thriving in a place that would be toxic for any other known organisms. A central idea will be supported by details. In lines 98 through 103, the author describes the key process that creates the deep-sea food chain. Reread lines 98 through 103. Paraphrase the chemical process that creates the deep-sea food chain. Pause while you think. Bacteria around the geysers break down the sulfides. They use the energy this releases to turn carbon dioxide and oxygen into sugars, which form the basis of the food chain. Readers can analyze the way information is organized to provide them with support in understanding the content. In the section Cold Seeps, the author provides a range of information about a deep-sea chemosynthetic habitat discovered in 1984. She organizes this information in a number of paragraphs showing cause and effect relationships in which one event brings about or causes another. Reread lines 129 through 138. Identify the cause and effect structure of the paragraph. Pause while you think. Cause. Chemosynthetic bacteria arrive. Effect. Large white mats form on the seafloor. Effect. Crabs and shrimp come to scavenge on dead bacteria and mussels arrive. Effect. Carbonate produced by the bacteria gives the tube worms a better grip. Effect. The tube worms build up branches. Effect. Other organisms live in the tube worm branches. Remember that you can use headings in the text to help identify central ideas. Reread lines 139 through 155 under the heading Whale Bones. Paraphrase the explanation of how whale bones act as stepping stones. Pause while you think. Some species travel long distances from one deep-sea habitat to another. Scientists think that they may use whale falls as stepping stones or stops along the way on this journey. Readers can use words and phrases surrounding a word, or context clues, as hints to determine the meaning of that word. Scientist Craig Smith uses the word specialists in an unusual way. Reread lines 152 and 153. Use the context to determine what Smith means by specialists. Pause while you think. In this context, specialists refers to species that are particularly well suited to life in a certain type of habitat. We find some context clues. In each habitat, and some species hint that the meaning has to do with animal species and not human experts in a field, which is a more common meaning. The overall topic of the paragraph also hints at a discussion about animals and not human specialists. Visual elements, such as photos, can add or clarify information. Captions help explain visuals. Look at the photo and caption above line 171. What does the photo show, and why might the author have included it? Pause while you think. It shows the submersible Alvin beginning its descent. It clarifies what the submarine looks like and how small it is. The author draws a conclusion, a statement based on evidence and experience about exploration. Reread lines 174 through 179. Identify evidence that supports the author's conclusion that scientists must balance the thrill of discovery with persistence and patience. Pause while you think. Smith's team discovered the first whale fall at the bottom of the ocean, but had to wait a year before he could return to investigate it. Cause and effect patterns of organization are not always explicit or clearly stated. Sometimes readers need to infer the relationship based on evidence in the text. Reread lines 190 through 200. What cause and effect relationship can you infer? Pause while you think. Because of the amazing discoveries made on this expedition, and because there is so much left to discover, scientists will return to study the area. What evidence supports this inference? Pause while you think. Evidence. The goal was to identify places worth returning to. Saw far more than they expected. We suspect this is one of the areas of highest biodiversity on Earth. Scientists will definitely be going back.